what I'm doing is I'm passing out your choice of plan. You've got version A or version B. You know which one you like best, okay? So take whichever one you want, hopefully. While we're doing that, let me give you a little preface to what we're doing. Okay, so here we are on day 175 of 180 days. Obviously, you've been through 6th grade, you've been through 7th grade, you've been through 8th grade. Middle school's coming to an end. And guess what you're going to? High school. So, right now is a little bit of a reflection on what you're doing, and we're going to apply it in a somewhat reflective expository essay. So, let's look at the prompt first, then we'll go through, and we're going to do a bunch of different things with the prompt, and then the final thing, where we're going to want to end up is for you to have your essay plan and you to have your focus statement or thesis statement ready. That gets us ready for how we want to do our intros. Okay? This is all stuff we've done before. Alright, so prompt reads. Will you read it for me, please, Cameron?
As you reflect on your experience in middle school, you have experienced success. Think about the success you have experienced in middle school. I want to explain why you have experienced success in middle school.
Alright, so we've all been here 3 years for the most part, some of us. Some of us have been in one school and another, but we're just looking at the realm which is middle school. So from 6th grade up until now, and in 4 days, you'll be a 9th grader. So I want you to think for a second in your own head about everything that has occurred, or everything you've experienced, or everything you tried new in middle school. Everything that you would consider to be a positive experience, because any positive experience is going to be what we call a success, right? Alright. With that said, on whichever one you chose, I want you to turn over to the back of that. And we're going to use the first part of what we're doing as a way to decide how to come up with some main ideas. The first thing I want to do is I want to look at some examples of different main ideas, and I want to decide, we need to decide which one's the best one. Al, will you grab that? Okay. So, up here I've got which is the main idea, which is the anecdote. What I want to decide is I'm going to look at the first two and decide which one would be the better way to explain, to pick as a main idea. Remember, you're going to have how many main ideas? 2. How many anecdotes are you going to have?
4.
How many anecdotes support a main idea? 2. Good. Alright. So, the game is, which is the main idea? Which is the anecdote? Here are my choices. My first one is, I became a better writer. My second one is, I learned how to apply myself in my studies. Which one's the main idea? Alright, that's right, Elkin. Alright, why do you say that's your main idea?
Because
let's let somebody assist him on it, and we get to share the wealth. Have you, Matt?
Because becoming a writer is like a part of applying yourself to your studies.
This is a part of this. So, just as what we said when we did this all earlier, remember your main idea is going to be the roof over the contents. So, apply myself and my studies is your main idea. Becoming a better writer is one way you apply it yourself in your studies. Okay? What would be another example of a way you could apply yourself in your study, just to nail this one out all the way? Something that you've done that shows you succeeded in middle school and you applied, you learned how to write. What's something else you learned how to do? Not all at one time, please. Shoot, you can't give me a wrong answer.
I play sports.
Okay. But are sports part of studies? No, but it's okay because
Good morning, Falcons. At this time, teachers, please check your tab. I sent you an email yesterday to names of our student athletes of the year. Please send those to the cafeteria now for the annual athletic awards banquet. Thank you very much.
Alright, now, he gave me learn how to play sports better. Is that an anecdote? That's his what? That's his other main idea. So you've done work, you've just not done it to finish where we're talking about, right? So you've already got, you're actually a step ahead. You're to your next main idea. Let's finish this main idea first. What's another thing you learned? Amanda. Okay. How to work out. Alright. Another example of a study. We get what I mean now? Alright. So now, we've got here, we know that this is my main idea. This is my anecdote. The next one, I want to volunteer to tell me, first of all, I gave you one of them. What I want is the other. I gave you, I met my best friend Allie. That is a, that's an anecdote. Who better to come up with the main idea than Allie herself, right? You want to come write it? Hobble over here with that one leg. Alright, while she's writing in the main idea, what I want you to do is look at the next one. I applied myself in extracurricular activities. Why don't we, since we've already had somebody thinking this way, Cameron, come here. And I want you to write, is I applied myself in extracurricular activities main idea or anecdote? The main idea. Write the anecdote for it. Very nice. Very nice. Perfect job. I broadened my social horizon. Good or bad? Good. I learned how to play sports better. Good or bad? Good. All right. So again, we've got an anecdote here. We've got a main idea here. Main idea here. All right. So what I've done is I've given you 3 examples of main ideas, 3 examples of anecdotes. Now, within what we've done, let's look, I think that up here, from what we've got, for me, this one right here stands out. We've known each other 175 days at this point, right? Why does that one stand out to me above all the rest? We should be able to finish each other's sentences at this point. Why does that main idea of everything up here stand out? Not because Allie's my best friend. Okay, go to lay them on my computer. Right. There's something about the way that's written that makes the hair stand on the back of my neck a little bit. Kind of like when y'all went to Busch Gardens. There's something so good about it, I can hardly stand standing here. What is it?
Word choice?
Oh, word choice. All right. Broadened. What could she have said if we were writing at a 3rd grade level?
Improved.
Improved. That might even still be a good word. She could say I met or fixed my
Talking.
friendly issues.
Improved.
I got it. Now, what we've done is she's up the ante a little bit, right? If I go back and look at, what do you notice about the other 2 that I wrote myself? She did that. She knocked out of the park the first time, guys. She did what I did, and she actually won up me. She did a little bit better than me. I did. I said I learned how to apply myself in my study. What are my power words and I learned how to apply myself in my studies?
Apply.
Apply. Alright. Because that's kind of a special verb, just like broaden is. What could I have done with learn? I'm the teacher and I need to teach myself. What could I have done with it?
I educated myself.
Educated. Now we're sounding like 9th graders. Alright? I applied myself in extracurricular activities. Is there any word in there that I could change? I think, just as a jump off, activities is probably my weakest word. What are some other words for activities that would fit in a sentence? Anybody can shoot. An activity is in, starts with an E, ends with an E. You gonna play hangman?
Example.
Yeah. Alright. All of these are good main ideas nonetheless. So here's what I want you to do. You've got a list of main ideas that I've given you. You can borrow from those. I've got a list of anecdotes. Anecdotes are going to be specific to you, as you know. We've looked at how it goes. What I want you to do is I want you to brainstorm right now a list of reasons why middle school has been successful for you. I think you should at least be able to come up with 5 on this. And I know how much you love this, so I'm going to give you 3 minutes to brainstorm. Keep in mind that fun little noise that's going to come up when this goes off, alright? So, think about everything that has been a success. Think about all the things you do. Think about socially. Think about the things you do that you don't have to do. Think about the things you've learned to do. Think about the things you have to do and you've gotten better at. Time's a ticking. Keep in mind, main ideas have to be broad. So don't be too specific. Under 7 seconds. Oh my, it's coming. That fun noise. Oh. No. I promise if I could find a different timer, I would. It's the only one I can find online. So anyway, alright. Who wants to give me some of what you came up with real quick so we can look at?
Very more athletic.
Became more athletic.
Learn to use technology.
Learn to use technology.
Study more and focus harder.
Study more and focus harder.
Became a stronger risk taker.
Became a stronger risk taker. Now that right there is a whole plethora, and when I say plethora, it's just a whole little fruit cocktail of things you can do with that, okay? You never know what you're going to get when you dip it out, right? So, became a risk taker. That's very unusual, and when he does this, he's probably not going to sound like 90% of the thinkers out there, right? Because there's so many ways you can take risks, right? So that's a very exciting anecdote. If I'm reading your paper and look like, what's this guy been doing, right? Okay, from your list, I want you to flip back over now to this side, and I apologize for trying to be green, and you're going to have to flip back and forth and look at what you came from and where you're going. But what I want you to do is I want to look at Alright, plan B. Alright, so for me, I gave you two different ways you can plan this. You've got your cluster, you've got your outline. Some of us are outliners, some of us are clusters. Some of us go right, some of us go left. It's up to you. What I want you to do is we got to fit this in, because what you've done is you've initially gone through the process. You need to look at that side of the paper that you made that list, and I want you to pick the two that you think you can talk the most about, that you think are going to sound the most interesting, and what's the last thing? That are the most what from one another? Different. So I don't want to say, by example, I broadened my social horizon and what would be something that would be close to I broadened my social horizon? I made new friends. You wouldn't want to do that because it's the same thing, right? You don't want to write a whole paper on meeting friends. Your reader's going to get a little bored. So for me, I've got to fill in with what my focus statement is in that top bubble. And that's going to go right in here, just for pretend. So when I've picked the two things that matter most to me, I've given you a skeleton for a focus statement. Middle school has been a success for me because blank and blank. I fill in with the first reason there, fill in with the second reason here. After I've done that, I place that in that top bubble. What's this top bubble? This is paragraph A, which is your what?
Introduction.
Your introduction. And this right here is called your focus statement, and it falls at the end of the introduction. Tell you all what. At least I taught y'all something this year. Alright, so if that's A, what is this? B. If that's B, this is C. Tell me, my colorful students, why did I make this red and why did I make this blue?
So that it's easy to
so that it's easy to find and that you don't get confused. My red main idea is here. My blue main idea is here. Color coordinated so you never mix it up. Alright, mine's going to be, in this, because this is my plan sheet, do I have to write everything out fully? No, I just got to make it a little map for myself. Your plan sheet is your what, really, in your essay? It ends up being what for you? That thing you're not supposed to use on a test? A cheat sheet. It becomes your cheat sheet because it's that first moment of clarity when you know what you're doing, and at the end when you're kind of like, oh gosh, I'm running out of time, that's when you can look back at it and it'll help settle you. So I'm just going to write in my bubble, apply myself in studies, because that basically is what the main idea is about. This one right here in Allie's great words is broadened social horizon. Still getting to me, it's so good. Alright. My two, what's an example of, what did I say my examples were?
I became a better writer.
Better writer. Over here's going to be?
Learned algebra.
Learned algebra. Alright. So, broaden social horizons. I'm going to do, I met Allie. And another example of a social horizon, instead of talking about just people, I might say my 14th or my second 14th birthday party. And in that kind of anecdote, I'm going to talk about how the fire marshal had to come because of all the people who were at my 14th birthday party. We had to shut it down afterwards. I know. It's horrible. So, this gives you the full gamut of what you're going to do. What I want you to do is I've already given you, how many minutes would you say I've already done for you?
5.
5 minutes worth? So you're saying you need 10 minutes to fill out this plan diagram? I'm going to say you need 7. How many minutes are you supposed to take a plan? Supposed to take 5 to 10. If I gave you 5, I'll give you another 5 now. I want you to fill the rest of it out, okay? And keep in mind that noise is coming. So remember, fill in your main idea first. Underneath A. B and C, you can just jot the main ideas. And at the very bottom, or in 1 and 2, that is where you're going to come up with your specific examples that prove B and C. So by example, just to wrap this up, you got about 30 seconds left. The clocks are ticking. Looks like most of us are all the way there. Please don't have to figure it out. See as an example. It's so you. It's rough, but it's the truth. Time's up. So, just real quickly, I want to go through and review some of our paragraphs. I'm going to pick off a couple of people. I want you to give me what you think is your best paragraph. Just tell me your main idea and your 2 anecdotes. Why don't we start with Merm?
I changed my look. Except for 8th grade, I dyed my hair, and my Pierce Magnolia.
So she obviously has the rhinestone and the blonde streak still to prove it. I'll tell you it was good stuff. All right. Somebody else. Anthony, do you have something about your hair in here since you won best hair?
No.
All right. Show the hair off. Got to. Olivia, what's your best paragraph?
I said I focused more on my schoolwork.
And you did.
I said I earned straight A's all 8th grade year, and I got better in math.
Very nice. All truthful, all real, easy to write on. I want Morgan or Philippe on the next one. You guys are my swimmers. Did either of you guys do sports?
No, I didn't.
You guys are gonna give it up soon, I bet. Huh? Would one of you guys want to share?
I started to join groups and then put myself in just groups.
Okay. What group specifically? What do you mean by groups?
Like, let's say, these class,
You mean work in a group of
Yeah.
people? Oh, okay. And that's a good one for him because what he has is this is your first year here. So he's got a lot to talk about in middle school. But middle school for you really comes into being with 1 year, right? So he's got to dig specifically into this 1 year of his because this was his first year here. So, with that said, good job on that. I'm happy with what I got. What we're going to do later with this, the next thing we'll be working on is different types of introductions. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. We got 3 different types we can do. What are the 3 types? Actually 4. Rhetorical question.
Surprising statement.
Surprising statement.
Anecdotal.
Contrasting symbols.
Contrasting similes. What is a surprising statement?
Statement is like hooks your reader or whatever.
It's a little sentence that surprises and shocks to hook your reader. Anecdotal is a short story that catches your reader's attention. Everybody remembers Olivia's on her mom rolling dough in the kitchen during Christmas. Contrasting simile is what? Where you take 2 things that are different and you use one as an example to prove the other. I think Allie did one on Jalisco.
No, I always do mine on the phone.
She always does before. And then the last type is what?
Rhetorical, you ask questions.
You ask a couple of questions and it's a way of playing what? Right. All leading your reader to the same answer. Alright, good job on that, guys.